March 16th, 2023. Arsenal have an 8-point lead over title favorites Manchester City and are surefire favorites to win the league. Surely, nothing will go wrong now.
Flag stays down. Alcaraz with an early opportunity, but it's returned to Arsenal. It's a free header.
Free. Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne in space. Here is Haaland
To defend, and that's a free header opportunity for Undav to clip one over Ramsdale. Beaten away by Ramsdale.
A 1 year.
Legal routine of a glorious team for the third successive season. Once more, in 2023, Manchester City are the champions.
Hey guys, what is up? It is CJ Trades, and today we're going to be talking about the fall of Arsenal and how they choked the Premier League. So my original idea for this video was how Arsenal won the league, but obviously that did not happen, so now it is how they choked the league. 3 years ago, Arteta took over at Arsenal, and they were on a downward trajectory. They were used to the 4th place finishes as Arsenal became known for, but under Arteta they collapsed down to 8th place, finishing below Sheffield United, a now relegated team, and just very lackluster performances with an old aging team. Arteta had a very unique philosophy with inverted fullbacks, kind of learning under Pep, and the fast-moving, keeping the ball, progressing the ball with inverted fullback system that Arteta was using wasn't working at Arsenal. There was Kolasinac and a ton of players not fit for the system at all, and so the performances in the league were very, very bad, but the board kept faith in him, and he could buy his own players and improve his own system. And one of these players is William Saliba, a prospect at Arsenal that was just stuck on loan in France at Saint Etienne, just year after year, with amazing performances. Last year he was a player of the season, and every Arsenal fan wanted him back as our center backs were absolutely terrible. Mustafi, Socrates, David Luiz, and he looked like the next bright prospect to help the team, but once again he was stuck in France. And then eventually this year, he was finally brought back and impacted the club. And Arsenal went from having one of the worst defenses out of the Big Six to one of the best defenses in the league, as Gabriel from France, one of the many Gabriels at Arsenal, and Saliba were brought together this year. Two guys who played in France before at center back were both physical, aggressive, great one-on-one defenders, and both are very calm with the ball. And obviously they had their mistakes. They're both young. Saliba's even younger, but together they proved to be a great center back combo. And Arteta's front three at Arsenal of Saka on the right, Gabriel Martinelli on the left, and Gabriel Jesus from Manchester City at striker proved to be an amazing attacking combo. As the goals started flying in for Arsenal at the start of this season, the results looked improved and Arsenal was at the top of the table. But as of last year, they had the same powerful attack, but their defense couldn't string together the results to be a real title challenger, with City being so strong. But under Saliba, for the first few months of the season, Arsenal was in first, winning games, not letting in goals, and the future of the league looked promising. Arteta ball was in full swing at Arsenal. They brought in Odegaard, who was already here at loan from Real Madrid, but he has been absolutely amazing, a giant killer. He's been amazing in the midfield, leading the team, scoring goals, having assists. He's like the De Bruyne of the team. And then Gabriel, as I mentioned, with Saliba, amazing center-back combo. And then Aaron Ramsdale, an underrated piece where Arsenal had Leno for a few years and then went to Emiliano Martinez. And both of them looked like they were doing their job. Very, very good goalkeepers. Many people didn't think we needed upgrades there. Arsenal buys Ramsdale for a big fee. People complain he's been relegated multiple times, but he has been amazing for Arsenal. Many, many massive saves. Many mistakes, but he's very young. A lot of promise, and he has absolutely helped Arsenal this season. And Arsenal look to finally break that barrier, beat City, win the title, something they haven't done since the Invincibles in 2004 with Thierry Henry. But March 16th, the fateful day where the tide turned for Arsenal. Sporting, they had their Europa League game, the second leg. They needed a win. The game goes 1-1, goes into penalties, and they lose 3-5. And most Arsenal fans don't really care about the Europa League, and, it's whatever, they lost. But the main factor in this game is the injuries. William Saliba goes down hurt in the middle of the game and is subbed out. At first, it seems bad for the future of the Europa League and Arsenal's hopes, but the real problem is the Premier League, where Arsenal had that big lead, and as you can see, before March 16th, 27 games, 21 wins, 3 draws, 3 losses, not that many drop points, 66 points, which gave them an 8-point lead over City, which is huge. Even Pep said if Arsenal continue this pace up to 100 points, he will not be able to catch him, and it looked like Arsenal can finally win that league again. And then Saliba goes down. After March 16th, 11 games, 5 wins, and they dropped the same amount of points in under half the games, 11 to 27, with only 3 draws and 3 losses in the same amount, or in the smaller time span. We're only gathering 18 points and a 5-point gap. It took 11 games to go from a 13-point swing of an 8-point lead to a 5-point gap. And now it comes down to how Arsenal will rebound. City has won 5 Premier Leagues in the last 6 years. They've dominated the league just like Sir Alex Ferguson did with United before them. Every team goes through their eras, and every year there's different powerhouses and giants. And right now City is great, but Liverpool didn't look great. United's looked terrible. Spurs were terrible. This is the time to buy now for Arsenal. So there's a ton of players that Arsenal should be looking at to buy, and a ton of players they should be offloading. And Arsenal has been in a very win-now mode in the recent seasons, but that does come at a cost. If you can't win, obviously the goal is to win the Premier League, but if you can't do it, Champions League, you do get a ton of TV money, you get Champions League money, but all the players they bought, Gabby Jesus is on $265K a week, Thomas Partey $200K a week, Saka $195, Zinchenko $150, and looking at players that are less impactful, like Pepe, who won't even get games, gets $140 a week, Xhaka gets $120, and then going down Jorginho with $110 and Kieran Tierney with $110. A lot of these guys are not really impacting the team as much as they were in the past, or they were hoping they would be. And a lot of them could be sold on, which we're going to see soon. I think Kieran Tierney will probably move to Newcastle. I think Jorginho could even go overseas, but Xhaka could go back to Germany. And then Pepe, they have to get him off the books. And it looks like they did buy Declan Rice as that holding mid spot. So Partey will probably be gone, if not as a backup. But a lot of high wages that they're going to have to offload because they do want to compete, they do want to spend money. It is worth noting that the Kroenke ownership group have won championships with the Avalanche in America and now the Denver Nuggets, who both won championships in the past 3 years. So they are in a buy now mode. They want to win. This is their window. No team looks amazing besides City, but Arsenal can't compete with City. We've seen it. This is the time to buy now. And they need to invest and choose their money wisely because so many clubs are getting bought with the Saudi money. Newcastle United is only going to get better. Liverpool looks good. City is only going to get better. They have to compete with the high spenders by paying their players very wisely. And you can see here the 8-point gap Arsenal had. Obviously, they did have a game in hand, but a massive gap. The same goal differential. They were playing just as good as City. It really just came down to their collapse that you can see right here, where after 38 games, obviously, they are down by quite a bit. They just completely fell off, couldn't win games, and I do believe that came down to the defense, where Saliba got injured. We had to bounce Ben White around. Tamayasu got injured. But I think Saliba leaving the squad is really what hurt them. It's a lot of people put it down to pressure mounting against Arsenal and that they collapsed under the pressure. But I think it just came down to they weren't at full strength. It comes down to they couldn't function their system without Saliba. And like Holding was trying his best. He didn't do terrible, but just wasn't the same without him. So I think the lack of form with the 3 draws, the 3 losses really comes down to the lineup changing, their system changing, and they weren't able to cope and adapt to it in time. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Comment if you have any ideas, anything to say about my video. I'm down to criticism, or if you just want to talk. Leave a like if you enjoyed and subscribe if you want to see more.